Okay, we're getting some breaking news. We are watching firefighting airplanes. They are dropping fire retardant on the fires in Southern California. This is from moments ago. This is near Route 27 Topanga Canyon Boulevard. In just a couple of days, the forecast for the damage cost from the LA fires, it has skyrocketed. So on Wednesday, AccuWeather forecasted the LA fires would cost anywhere between $52 and $57 billion worth of damage and economic loss for the area. AccuWeather almost tripling that forecast this morning. They now said the cost could be between $135 and $150 billion. The estimated total insurance losses are also rising. JP Morgan forecasting $20 billion in total insurance losses. Juniper RE estimating about $9 billion in property insurance losses. But that number could balloon to $20 billion once you factor in commercial and auto claims. Insurance stocks right now taking a beating as they prepare to dish out all of this money for these claims. Mercury General, Allstate. By the way, Mercury General, they're based in Los Angeles. That's most of their business. Allstate, Travelers, Chubb, Progressive, all these stocks are lower right now. Insurance costs are surging and probably will continue to do so. But here's the question. How is this going to affect the LA real estate market? I want to bring in $1 Million Listing Los Angeles starring realtor Josh Flagg. And my first question is your property and your home okay? And how are you and your family and your friends doing right now?
Well, I'm okay. You know, we have a place in New York and LA, so I'm here right now. I wanted to get out of there because what are we going to do? I mean, if the house burns, the house burns. I don't need to be in it, right? Let's just put into perspective of how big of a deal this actually is, because I think people realize what a big deal this is. But, you know, I was walking down the street today. This is the size of Manhattan.
I think 2 Manhattans at this point, according to our
Nothing
reporters.
like this has ever happened. This is apocalyptic. Every one of my friend's beach houses are gone. My friend Rick Caruso, gone. Candy Spelling, gone. Melissa Rivers, gone. All of these people are really close in my life. It's it. Like, this is like something that has never happened in California history. It's insane. And by the way, this didn't need to happen if we want to get political.
Well, okay, let's talk about Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. She's being criticized left, right, up, and down for her. She was reportedly warned before she left about the high winds, and she went to Africa.
If Rick would have won, this would never have happened. This would have been handled so completely differently. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. This is not like we're in the middle of the country. We're in the most sophisticated city in the world, in the U.S., between New York and Los Angeles. This doesn't happen. Can you imagine if Manhattan burned overnight, if the city didn't have this handled correctly? It would never happen.
And if we didn't have water?
It's not even, it is so absurd.
Right.
So, I mean.
There is a lot of blame also being pointed on the insurance side of the story at Sacramento and lawmakers in Sacramento because of the way that the insurance market is regulated in the way that it operates. And that a lot of these homeowners, either they don't have fire insurance or they were dropped. About 100,000 people just around the Santa Monica Mountains reportedly were dropped by their insurance companies.
I know people that are
State Farm.
self-insuring houses that are multi-million-dollar houses because who wants to spend $500,000 a year on insurance? It's absurd.
So what happens to these people that their homes are gone? Do they rebuild? Do they just sell the lot and walk away?
That's the question. I think it's going to happen. This is my personal opinion. It's going to come down to age demographic. If you've been living in the Palisades or Malibu and you're, let's say, in your 80s, are you going to sit through permitting your house, which already is a nightmare, with Coastal Commission, all that kind of stuff? You're going to spend 9 months for permits, and then you're going to spend 2 years to build. By the time you're done, you're 85 years old. I don't think so. I think those people are going to buy very high-end condos and whatnot. Let's take people that are in their 30s and 40s. The question is, this is apocalyptic. Do you want, your house is gone, the Palisades looks like Mars, right? Do you want to start this process and build up again in the Palisades and start, seeing 1,000 lots and then all of a sudden these beautiful houses rebuilt? So are you moving to Brentwood or are you moving back to Beverly Hills? I think in terms of, this is too soon to tell, but the question, I think it's either way, it's sad to say, it's going to affect the real estate market in a positive way. I mean, rentals, in
other areas where people are going to try and buy.
Yeah, I looked yesterday. I mean, it's just, look, we're not trying, the facts are the facts. I looked yesterday, houses that were for rent sitting on the market for 6 months, all of a sudden yesterday, there was a red arrow in the MLS, meaning the price went up.
Yeah.
because they're taking advantage of the fact that people need places to go. So the rental market's going to explode. And then for the people that are not going to want to sit there and rebuild for the next couple of years, they're going to buy a house. So all of a sudden these houses in Beverly Hills and even Brentwood, which wasn't really as affected, those houses are going to go up in value.
Sure. Okay. Understood. Now, you have some listings in Pacific Palisades. Are those properties still standing?
No.
Your listings are no longer, because we saw them on your website.
They're gone. We might as well change it in the MLS from house to land. Who wants a single piece of land?
Okay. Have you talked to any of your clients? Or those
I mean,
clients?
well, first of all, right now I'm trying to move them into places right now. Like, I mean, right now I'm trying to get them into, like, I just literally sitting in the green room, I got a call from somebody that the house burnt down. We need something like right away. So I'm putting them into a house in Bel Air that I'm putting it on next week. So I'm going to put them in.
We're looking at your listings. Are these homes gone?
Well, most of these ones are in some of these are gone, but these
Pacific Palisades. These are your Pacific Palisade listings that we're showing.
Some of these houses are gone. I mean, some of these houses we don't even know if they're gone because even the homeowners can't get in. They were evacuated, but like, you know, I was on with my friend Melissa Rivers. She didn't know for 2 days if her house was gone. We were chatting, and I was like, "Well, what do you think?" And then we found out, yep, house is gone.
It is heartbreaking about what has happened, and the bigger question, especially for Pacific Palisades, is a good friend of mine, her home that she was remodeling, it's gone. Their rental that they were living in is gone, and their children's school is gone. What happens to Pacific Palisades? Because you don't have a community, you don't have stores, you don't have, all the commercial side as well.
It's going to be a long time before it returns because it's gone. It's literally like a city is gone. It's not like, oh, a couple houses or a couple streets. Like, there's no infrastructure. There is nothing left. So the question is, like, that's not something that we're just waiting 9 months to get permits and we start rebuilding. Like, this is building up an entire community. And the real question is going to be, what's going to happen with the cost of construction? Because the contractor's going to have a field day with this one. I mean, they're going to jack the prices up, obviously. And then what's going to happen with insurance, which was outrageous to begin with?
The premiums are going to go up 30-40% from the research
I pay $100,000 already in insurance a year. Do you know what my insurance is going to be next year? I guarantee it's going to be $400,000.
Josh Flagg, thank you for being here, and we are grateful that you and your family are safe, and we will pray, of course, for your clients.
Thank you.
And